gentlemen, please welcome your MC for this evening's gala, host of the LMC Media Sound Shore Family Guide, Elka Ravid.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm Elka Ravid, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here tonight, kicking off the LMC Media Gala. By day, I'm a wife, mom, dog mom, pickleball player, beekeeper, and host of one of LMC's shows, The Sound Shore Family Guide. And tonight, apparently, your MC! Woo! Now, I know some of you might be thinking, wait, J.B. Miller's friends with people like John Mayer and Bono and Sheryl Crow and probably half the producers at Saturday Night Live. So how exactly did I end up with the microphone tonight? Excellent question. I have no idea. Let's just say that when Matt Sullivan called and said, Elka, would you help open the gala? I said yes, before realizing who else might have been on JB's speed dial. So here we are, and honestly, I couldn't be more honored to kick off this incredible evening. Tonight, we're here for three wonderful reasons: to celebrate LMC Media, to honor J.B. Miller, and to raise money. Seriously, raise money while having a fantastic time doing it. A huge thank you to the entire LMC team, our supporters, and to all of you for being part of this amazing community. Now, let's talk about our honoree, J.B. Miller. J.B. has an amazing wife, Margaret, and two wonderful daughters, Ava and Izzy, who are here with us tonight. Beyond his family and friends, his next two great loves are our community and LMC Media. Oh, and wait, by the way, he's also the founder, president, and CEO of Empire Entertainment. And if you know JB, he has time and dedication for all of them. My husband Scott actually grew up with JB and his brothers. They were basically brothers from another mother. And here's a fun fact. Scott starred in one of JB's earliest cinematic masterpieces, the low-budget, high-drama cult classic, Bennett the Barbarian. From what I was told over the years, there was lots of running around, jumping out of trees and bushes, and blood. A lot of blood. Homemade blood in Ziploc bags mixed in JB's kitchen. If TikTok had existed back then, they'd either be famous or under investigation. My husband, Scott, was killed multiple times, heroically, of course. And when I finally saw the movie years later, which was pretty much very recently in JB and Margaret's house, I blinked and missed the big scene. Scott's big scene. But after decades of hearing about it, I can confirm it was his finest 1.5 seconds on film. And as for the real Bennett the Barbarian, JB's brother, he went on to direct Capote, Moneyball, and Foxcatcher. So clearly, cinematography runs deep in that family, though thankfully the fake blood phase did not. JB has deep roots here, from Central Avenue School to Homics to Mamaroneck High, and he's never forgotten where he came from. He's produced events featuring everyone from Bill Clinton to Taylor Swift, Barack Obama to Sting, but what makes him truly remarkable isn't just the global stages or celebrity galas. It's grounded. It's how he's grounded. It's how grounded he remains right here in Larchmont and Mamaroneck. Because even after the red carpets, the awards, and the standing ovations, JB still rides his bike to the train station, plays drums in his downtime, and loves to sail. He and Margaret host endless parties for charities at their home, and in addition, he somehow manages to make everyone he meets feel like an old friend. He doesn't have a bad thing to say about anyone, which makes him not just rare in entertainment, but practically mythical in Westchester. He believes deeply in giving back, paying it forward, and creating opportunity for others, just as others once did for him. That's what makes JB so special and why it's such a privilege to celebrate him tonight. Now for LMC Media. We shine a light on the people, places, and stories that make the Sound Shore so special. We saw a glimpse of what they do in our community in the opening clip, and all under the direction of only 4 full-time staff members and several part-time employees. And this year, they have worked extra hard launching 2 new programs that celebrate and engage our community. The Sound Shore Family Guide, which I host, provides thank you, very proud of this, provides a detailed look at the offerings for families in the community. The concept was simple but beautiful, bless you. We'd interview a local parent, getting their perspective on the activities their families love, and then go meet the inspirational voice behind those experiences. Through that, we showcase just how diverse and well-rounded our community really is. That everything you could want is actually right here. To give an even fuller picture, we also sat down with town officials, school directors, and heads of programs from PACE and Okra and beyond. So whether someone was new to the area or had lived here forever, they could visit the LMC Media website and in one place discover what makes this community so extraordinary. And it's still all right there, so please go and check it out. This year, LMC also launched a children's show, LMC Kids, through puppetry music. Through puppetry, music, and storytelling, the series nurtures our kids with empathy and curiosity. Each episode celebrates the people, places, and values that make Larchmont and Mamaroneck special. If you're not familiar with LMC Kids, let's hear Lulu, Miguel, and Cassie share their thoughts about tonight's gala.
I'm on a big screen. I'm huge. Look at all the people.
Why are all these people watching?
It's a gala.
What's a gala?
A gala is like a big fancy party, but the most important part is that everyone is there to help. At the gala, people give money so that kids, families, or neighbors can get what they need. It's kind of like when you share your toys or snacks with a friend, except at the gala, people are sharing their money to make sure everyone has enough.
Wow. I hope everyone donates to LMC Media so we can go on more adventures and keep learning.
They are so cute. Programs like LMC Kids remind us that when we invest in storytelling, education, and connection, we're not just creating media, we're strengthening the bonds that make Larchmont and Mamaroneck such a special place to call home. Now, I know some of you have been supporters of LMC Media for years, and some of you might be sitting here wondering, why am I here? That's okay. You're in the right place, and you're about to find out why this organization is such a vital part of our community. To tell you more, please join me in welcoming LMC Media's Executive Director, Matt Sullivan.
I got you guys because I told you you'd be seeing the Springsteen film tonight, but little did you know you'd be at the LMC Media Gala, so here we are. Like they say in the Bronx Tale, now you just can't leave. In all honesty, it's a privilege to stand here in front of everyone tonight, surrounded by so many people who believe in what community media can do. Now, when I look at what LMC Media has accomplished over the years, it's really hard to not be proud. We're mentoring the next generation of filmmakers and creators, and we have 2 here, Athena and Mia, who are here with us tonight. So Mia and Athena, please stand up and give a wave to everybody. LMC Media produced thousands of hours of original programming this year alone. That's a lot of storytelling right here in our community. From municipal coverage that keeps our residents informed and our government transparent, to creative shows like LMC Kids that inspire our youngest neighbors. We've given people of all ages and backgrounds the tools to tell their own stories and the confidence to share them. We've helped local nonprofits amplify their missions, and we've given our business community the opportunity to connect, collaborate, and shine a spotlight on what they do best. Because at its heart, LMC Media is about one thing: bringing our community together through the power of media. But none of that happens by accident. It happens because of the incredible team behind LMC Media, and I'd like to take a moment to recognize them. Our staff members, Dina Schumacher, Stefan Aloisa, Anthony Polachicchio, Chantel Ellis, Asher Rivera, Sal Severello, and Logan Sass. And I don't want to forget our freelance videographers, editors, interns, and volunteers, and of course, our wonderful board of directors led by board president Chris Giannoutsos. I'd also like to thank our chair of this year's fundraising committee, who flew in all the way from California, Ms. Catherine Lapone. Now, everything you see from LMC Media, every show, every class, broadcast, and community event is produced by this small but mighty team. Just 4 full-time staff and a handful of part-time employees fueled entirely by dedication, creativity, and a deep love for this community. Their passion keeps the cameras rolling and the lights on, and it's what makes LMC Media feel less like an organization and honestly, more like a family. This past Monday at our celebration of National Community Media Day in Mamaroneck Cinemas, I had one of those rare moments where everything came full circle. I had the opportunity to screen Mamaroneck High School alum Dan Kay's feature film, What We Hide, which was followed by a Q&A on this very stage. Looking out into the audience, I felt a rather nostalgic moment, flashing back decades ago to when I was a student in Mr. Mike Witch's video program. Mike took our class on a trip. Yeah, give it up for Mike. Mike took our class on a trip to New York City, to Times Square, and we saw another graduates film, The Cruise, and that film's executive producer was none other than J.B. Miller. And sitting there as a teenager, seeing someone from my own community succeed in the world of film opened up something in me. It showed me that storytelling wasn't just a dream reserved for people from somewhere else, but it could start right here in Mamaroneck. So tonight closes that full circle moment to stand here, part of LMC Media, and celebrating a person who once inspired me alongside the teacher who helped set us both on that path, and it's deeply, deeply meaningful. So thank you, Mike, for your years of teaching and for sparking that creative spirit in so many of us. And thank you, JB, for showing us what's possible when talent meets heart and community. JB, it's been a pleasure working with you on tonight's program, as well as the countless other productions and opportunities that we've been fortunate enough to work on together. So thank you for believing in this organization. Thank you for being you and always giving yourself and supporting what's meaningful to you. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our main film for this evening, and it explores the impact that LMC has had in our honoree and so many others in our community. Enjoy the film.
We have the same issues in municipalities and rural
It's no surprise that LMC's studio on the Avenue has produced more than 600 recordings over the past 18 months. LMC has always been a platform for the community, but with its prominent location, more local stories were told than ever before. Productions ranged from podcasts to musicians, children's shows, classes, workshops, audiobook recordings, talk shows, and social media spots. But back when I found out about LMC, it was just a small high school television program. The studio was part of the PACE program. It was part of the television program, and Mike Witch was my instructor at the time. It was a very lively place. It was on the stage in the old theater on the Palmer side of Mamaroneck High School. The idea back in the day, and I'm talking 1980 to 82, that you could create content and programming, let alone have it be broadcast to your peers and the community, was just a crazy concept. But in many senses, that's really what it was. We were early creators of content at a student age, and LMC made it possible for us to have that experience and to learn how to be content creators.
Being able to get hands-on experience in this field of work while also being able to go around my town and meet people that I never met and learn about places I didn't know about and get to attend these cool events has been really amazing.
I also remember later on when I suddenly went to work at Late Night with David Letterman at NBC, making quasi-live TV every day, or at MTV's studio when I took my first full-time job there out of college. It really was not a stretch to walk into that environment. There was nothing new. I had learned almost everything I needed to know when I was a junior and senior in high school about how to operate and work in a live broadcast studio setting. And that kind of education is extraordinary to give to young people. It's an extraordinary career advantage. I think part of the reason that I'm being honored tonight and here is because it had an enormous impact on me. Like many students, many young kids at that time, you're kind of searching around for your own identity. And I found it very much in LMC. I loved movies and I loved television. I was kind of fanatical about it. So were my brothers. We watched it constantly. But when we suddenly had the opportunity to actually roll up our sleeves and make some and learn that, I think I immediately warmed to this idea of that was what I wanted to do with my life. And now with your new location on Mamaroneck Avenue, you've got a state-of-the-art color broadcast live stream studio with so much more functionality than was ever available to us.
So OCRA stands for Original Civic Research and Action, and it basically is a 4-year program at Mamaroneck High School that encourages students to be civic entrepreneurs. LMC helped us in tons of ways with our project, but the main way was we decided to film a podcast
where we held a panel of experts.
We had labor lawyers, immigration lawyers, actual domestic workers themselves, and we were able to produce that at LMC.
Our podcast was bilingual.
It was full of information that they've never heard before.
Having our podcast be bilingual helped us reach a much wider audience.
Domestic workers themselves to also watch the podcast so that they know what their rights are and they can also stand up for themselves, which was a really wonderful thing that I think the podcast allowed us to do.
They made it super easy and they were super helpful.
We would definitely come back to LMC Media because we had such a wonderful experience last time. They gave us this amazing studio space and we're grateful because it has really done wonders for our project.
Now with the new facilities and functionality and access that you have, students are much more sophisticated and much more able to create all kinds of programming.
Hi, my name is Gabriela Guevara. I am from Yonkers, New York. I go to Ursuline School in New Rochelle and my dream school is Pratt Institute in Brooklyn. I think LMC really supported me through this journey, especially with mentorship and providing me with connections I really couldn't find anywhere else. And since I was very new to the filming process in general, they made everything really easy for me, especially with equipment which I don't have at home.
Hi, my name is Sasha Jaramillo. I'm from Mamaroneck, New York. I used to go to Mamaroneck High School, but now I'm going to Clark University. Projects like these are very, very, very important, in my opinion. They help give a push to aspiring filmmakers. It really helps them kind of realize that this is what they want to do, if that's what they want to pursue in college or in the future. Like for me, I wanted to be a filmmaker for the longest time, and this project definitely gave me that reassurance. And also projects like these definitely help get people noticed. Like I can definitely say help me get noticed. These projects can, in a way, change someone's entire life.
It has very much been a two-way street. LMC is doing extraordinary things. They're covering the events and the parties that I'm working on for places like Manor Beach and the Chatsworth PTA Block Party and others. I've been really excited to watch the development of shows like Elka's show on the Avenue. My daughters are interested in the puppet shows and the children's programming that you're doing.
Rob and I, we have a 3-year-old boy named Jordan who loves to be in Mamaroneck, walk around town and see familiar faces and places, and ever since moving here we've been doing just that. LMC Kids has had such a positive impact on our family because we've been able to put on episodes when he's able to see familiar places and faces, and when we're out and about he's recognizing those, and we're able to really anchor him in something that's community-based and educational.
I'm excited to see what the next generation of filmmakers and media creators, especially given how much things have changed, will do, given the access that they have here. LMC really helps us understand all the things that are happening around our community. And I think having our own sort of like micro news organization that's covering our community and helping us understand our community is super helpful. I can only assume that other people will also get their start and get their leg up in the world by finding their passion through media and entertainment. And LMC, at least for me, was the way I discovered that. And I suspect that a lot of people and young people are going to discover this passion if they're given the opportunity. But that's not something that we can take for granted. Cable TV franchise fees are becoming less and less important and available. Obviously government funding, and certainly on a federal level, for any kind of community media, or independent media, is evaporating quickly. So if private citizens in the private sector don't step up and support this, there's no guarantee that this continues to exist. We don't have a rich advertising environment here to support and pay for the programming. This is not network television, and this is not Netflix and Amazon Prime. This is just a bunch of community-based people working with the resources that they have, trying to create value and serve the community. But that requires money, and it requires support. And that's why I support it, and that's why I hope everyone will support it.
All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the film. And before we bring up our next guest, I'd like to thank a few people for this evening. First off, I want to thank Sal Civarello, who's our director of photography and editor on the film you just saw, as well as the opening for this film. Our co-producer and writer of those pieces, Dina Schumacher. I'd like to thank specifically Chantel Ellis and Catherine Lapone for all their help in putting together tonight's presentation. I'd like to thank, of course, our sponsors who made this evening possible. Our visionary sponsors, J.B. and Margaret Miller, Jules Del Vecchio and Pina Cirillo. Our major underwriter for tonight's event, A&E Global Media. Our underwriting partners, Chris and Anne-Marie Giannoutsos, Sonny and Brad Goldberg, and Don Gamschiger from DNR Labs. And of course, I'd like to thank all of the rest of you for being here this evening, those of you who sponsored this event. It means the world to all of us here. I'd like to thank our stage manager, Amber Mathis, our camera, tech, and red carpet crew and photographer here with us this evening, as well as our lovely jazz band that we saw to open the night. And I'd be remiss if we didn't thank our stage crew for this evening, Mr. Bubba Finelli and United Stage Associates. Our audio engineer, Mr. Ted Utz of Vine Street Music. See, it takes a village here, or two villages and a town, and as we say. The wonderful family who brought the movies back to Mamaroneck, Harvey, Andrew, Noah, Elgard. And of course, the best staff in the movie theater business, all the employees here at Mamaroneck Cinemas. Thank you, guys. All right. Now, I'd like to take a moment to recognize our local officials who are here with us this evening. If you're still here, please stand. I know we had several who had many events, and we appreciate you making time in your busy schedule to be here with us this evening. Mayor of Village of Mamaroneck, Mayor Sharon Torres, could not make it with us this evening, but we are joined by trustees Nora Lucas, Dan Kushnick, and Ellen Silver. Town of Mamaroneck Supervisor, Ms. Jane Elkind-Eny, and Town Council Members Sabrina Fiddleman and Robin Nichinsky. Village of Larchmont Mayor Sarah Bauer could not be with us, but we do have Bubba Finelli again. Thank you, Bubba. Our Westchester County Legislator Catherine Parker, State Senator Shelley Mayer, County Executive Ken Jenkins, Congressman George Latimer, and New York State Assemblyman Steve Otis. Steve, thank you so much. I want to take a quick moment here to sincerely thank Steve, who, thanks to his efforts, secured a major state aid to municipality grant for $500,000 to rehab the LMC Media office at the town center. Thank you, Steve. All right, I'm done, I promise. You're sick of me, I get it. I can see the eyes. Thank you, I love you too. Now it's my honor to invite LMC Media Board President, Mr. Chris Giannoutsos, to the stage.
Woo! Y'all gon' make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me go all out. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me.
Good evening, everyone. 11 years before LMC's founding, the legendary George Carlin made history with his 7 words you can't say on television, a bit that sparked a landmark Supreme Court case. Back then, 4-letter words were never uttered on TV. Today, you can regularly hear all 7 and plenty more Carlin never dreamed of. And Matt, I know it's a family show, so I won't run through them all. What is harder to find now is what was most common in television in 1972. Real local content. Back then, if you wanted to know what happened in your community, you watched your local newscast. People arranged dinner around the 6 p.m. news. The local anchor was a celebrity. Now no one knows their name, but they do know the guy on TikTok who's reviewing airport bathrooms and racking up those views. So where did all that local storytelling go? Somewhere between mergers, social media algorithms, and the commoditization of 1,000 breaking news alerts that really aren't actually breaking, or news, or local. Local content is vanishing because giant media groups have swallowed up hundreds of independent stations. The result is a homogenized national news and fewer real stories about our communities. As people turn to social media echo chambers, polarization only deepens. LMC was founded 40 years ago on the belief that communities need transparency and local information to stay connected, and we still fight for that every day. Nonprofits like ours are the last defenders of local coverage, but we can't do it without support. While LMC is not dependent on the federal funding that stations like PBS are, regulatory changes have put strain on every public media station like ours throughout the country. So now's a point in the evening where I know some of you are wondering, is this guy about to ask me for money? And I have good news. I am. If you value independent local media, scan the QR code and toss in a donation. If some of you don't have your phones on you, any board member will be happy to take a check, cash, any denomination you have. In fact, if some of you are looking to get rid of some French jewelry that you recently acquired, we'll take that as well. However you choose to support us, we deeply appreciate it. Please, when you leave here tonight, spread the word to your friends. And since I can tell that this crowd is very, very active on social media, be sure to post about it and tag us as well. Now, speaking of friends, congratulations, JB, and thank you and Margaret for your ongoing generosity. The Millers have been one of LMC's biggest supporters, and not just ours. Their commitment to giving back shows exactly what community looks like in action. LMC thrives because of people like JB and because of people like all of you who are with us here tonight, because you understand that when we invest in local media, we invest in connection, education, and a shared story that belongs to all of us. When George Carlin fought for free speech, LMC is fighting for something as vital, making sure local voices still have somewhere to speak. Your generosity keeps LMC doing what it was built to do: inform, educate, and connect the community that we all call home. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Our next presenter is no stranger to LMC or our community. He joined Mamaroneck High School in 1972, the year I was born, and in only 1 year, he took over as TV coordinator and the teacher of the school's television program. For decades, Mike Witch worked and trained generations of media professionals, including the man we are here to honor this evening. He is deeply committed to LMC Media, the organization he helped co-found, and remains one of the most fierce and loyal supporters. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Mike Witch.
Do I look fierce and loyal? All right, a little history lesson. There was media making in Mamaroneck schools before I got there. In Murray Avenue School, 1970, ABC News did a story about a TV studio there and a volunteer mother named Jean Beatty in charge. At Mamaroneck Avenue School, there was a program involving every teacher, every student, every school administrator. And there was a book published called Doing the Media. A fellow named Bob Geller was in charge of a project organized by the Center for Understanding Media. At Homix, there was a TV and photo studio. Why? Well, because in 1964, a Canadian media theorist named Marshall McLuhan published a book called The Medium is the Message. And that changed everything. And also because of the foresight and educational philosophy of administrators like Dr. Cal Schlick, Joseph Downey, as well as the Board of Education and the Larchmont-Mamaroneck community itself. They embraced media literacy. They hired me to continue media literacy in the high school. John Culkin, in his introduction to Doing the Media, said it has always made good sense for people who live on water to learn how to swim. Today's children, Culkin continues, are immersed in a sea of communications: word, gesture, expression, smell, tone, and touch. Then the world of television, radio, film, book, record player, telephone, magazine, and computer. Each of these symbolic codes interacts with the sensory and psychic apparatus of the child to help him define himself and his environment. And here's the takeaway. The media are not merely envelopes which carry all messages indifferently. They shape both the message and the perceiver. In the fall of '73, I was asked to take over the TV studio at MHS. At the time, I was pursuing a master's degree in media studies and at Indiana University and at the New School. And I learned studio production through my students, learning by doing, and also with the kind help of technicians like John Henry and Jack Seligman. My students were always more comfortable with the technology, more than I was. In time, the studio became a home away from home. In 1983, we moved to a new space and we began a partnership with LMC Media. Actually, LMC-TV, which it was called at the time. And we went color. There was a new public access nonprofit, and the student access to studio, editing, and portable equipment expanded into the evening. Our signature daily newscast, MHS Information, gave us 10 minutes every morning to get the attention of the entire high school and deliver news as well as our own stories. When I reflect back on what characterized those years, there was a mutual trust. There was a freedom to explore, to create, and there was teamwork. You'll certainly recognize some famous MHS alumni in today's media, like Matt and Kevin Dillon, Michael O'Keefe, Elizabeth Colbert, Michael Sanger, and of course, Joan Rivers. Among those that I taught, there are many, many in radio, film, television. I don't want to take the time to name them all, but there are many. And JB and Bennett Miller are certainly two that are well known to you. JB, what you took away from MHS TV and from your family and from this extraordinary community, it has certainly served you well. And I am so pleased to present an award to you tonight from LMC Media. Where are you, JB?
Thank you so much, Mike, and everybody here. I am not good at speechifying, so I don't want to turn this into an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, so I promise I'm going to keep this very, very, very brief. There's first a lot of people that I'd like to thank and share this award with. Thank you, of course, Mike Witch, Matt Sullivan, Elka Ravid, Chris, the board, for tonight's award. It's truly an honor. I want to thank my incredible wife, Margaret. She is everything to me. Those of you that know her know that she's really the star in our family. I'd also like to thank our beautiful girls. Ava, are you out there? And Isabella, who I can't even believe is so quiet for the entire thing, but good job, girls. They are my greatest joy and the best creative collaboration ever with Margaret. And if you don't believe me, come check out our latest production, an enchanted Halloween fairy forest at this Saturday's Larchmont Manor Beach Haunted House. It promises to be spooktacular. Our happy home in Larchmont often doubles as a working soundstage. I want to thank my mom, Sue Miller, and my dad, Charles Miller, both of whom are here tonight, who gave me both the genetics and the encouragement to develop both the left side of my brain, the creative side, my mom is a great artist, and the right side of my brain, the engineer, military commander that my father is, which allows me to do what I do today. I want to thank my brothers, Bennett Miller and Ted, who live in Tokyo and who are not able to be here with us tonight, but they have been lifelong co-producers, and they certainly share this award. I also want to thank Amber Mathis, an Empire employee who just landed from producing a major production in Italy and is here tonight to help us technical direct and stage manage tonight's program. Amber is a true personification of the kind of people that work with me and in media and entertainment. Thank you, Amber. I'd like to thank quickly all of our local elected officials and candidates who are here tonight, who not only support LMC Media, but who also made such wonderful social media messages tonight to express their support. Each of you is a content creator in your own right. Early voting for the upcoming election starts this Saturday and Sunday at Town Center, so anyone who is in the zone of Mamaroneck School District can get out and vote, and you should. Thank you. I'd like to thank all of my friends, donors, sponsors, Larchmont and Mamaroneck neighbors from our street and beyond who came out big time tonight and filled the theater with support and love. Thank you all for being here. It means everything. Thanks, guys. And finally, I'd like to thank Jules Delvecchio, Pina, and their extended family, many of whom are here tonight, Bobby Stiller, and Bruce Campbell, and those who donated and supported tonight's event, but were not able to be here. Thank you. Thanks. The thank yous are done. No more thank yous. Okay. So over 45 years ago, I started a journey here in Mamaroneck as a Westchester kid with an obsessive love of music, concerts, television, and movies, and making parties, and two very creative and hyperactive brothers that loved to do projects together. But these passions didn't really coalesce into a life direction until my junior year at Mamaroneck High School. And it was there through the MHS PACE arts program that I took a class with this man, Mike Witch, and suddenly found myself producing and directing a daily live TV show that went out to the entire community. And of course, MHS TV program is the forerunner of what is today a thriving and successful LMC Media. That experience and early taste for producing grew into a very busy schedule of making films like Bennett the Barbarian, weekly and daily segments for MHS Info, and working with Bennett, Scott Ravid, who is here tonight, Josh Oppenheimer, whose mom Susie Oppenheimer is here tonight, John Williams, Jim Fields, Nina Essman, and so many others who all went on to very successful careers in media and entertainment. All of that happened and started right here in town. Those early experiences led me to study communications at Boston University and then later at the Tisch School of the Arts at NYU. And then I began a career working for Ron Delsner Concerts, what's now Live Nation, an internship with Late Night with David Letterman, and that then turned into my first full-time job at MTV in its mid-'80s heyday. And later to founding my own company, Empire, in 1993, where I was able to assemble a team of like-minded producers and creators to indulge my passion for producing on a world stage. I will not bore you, but since founding Empire 32 years ago, myself and my colleagues have grown to become, I think, one of the world's leading live and broadcast event production companies. with 85 employees, projects throughout the world, and have worked in over 100 countries. My work at Empire has taken me across the globe and has allowed me to play a role in our time and across the entire spectrum of human experience, from producing what we call moments that matter, like the Time 100 and the Tribeca Film Festival and the UN General Assembly, to helping launch new technologies from Microsoft, Google, work with clients like Goldman Sachs, and even with the Dalai Lama and others. My colleagues and I feel truly honored and privileged to do this work with so many of today's greatest artists and creators and presenters. I honestly have to pinch myself on some days. But I owe that career to my first experience through MHS video programs and what is today LMC Media. It was through MHS that I discovered being on-air talent and then saying, hey, I don't want to be the talent, I want to be the director. And then saying, like, you know what? I don't want to be the director, I want to be the producer, because that's the person that's valuable. And then I'm like, no, it's the executive producer that has the power. And that's what I do today. And that's why I'm in front of all you good people, so it worked out for all of us. But I'm not unique. I am just one of hundreds of Mamaroneck High School kids who over the decades have come out and continue to come out every year and find their own career path through internships at LMC Media, the Future Filmmaker Program, and so much more of what you all do. When Margaret and I moved our family back to Larchmont after the pandemic in 2022, probably like almost everybody else here, one of the first things I did was to get involved with LMC Media. That year I had the opportunity to work with Matt and LMC. They asked me for help in sort of shaping their fundraising gala that year. And I had always been struck by the unique history that probably not a lot of you know of Larchmont and Mamaroneck in television and motion picture and film. So we created a gala, it was called Hollywood on the Sound, and it sort of paid tribute to the great traditions here. Flagler Drive in Mamaroneck, for example, was D.W. Griffith's studio, in the early 1900s. People like Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford and Lillian Gish lived here, worked here, and did other kinds of films before a lot of that picked up and moved out to Los Angeles for better year-round shooting weather. In 2023, we chose to focus on the local media and entertainment community. I knew that there were people that worked here in media and entertainment, but none of us knew who each other were or had gotten together. So LMC Media seemed to be a perfect entity to convene that people so we could look around and see who was here. And lo and behold, I woke up to find 70 people standing in my kitchen representing NBCU, Netflix, CNN, Warner Brothers, Discovery, HBO, Paramount, Viacom, and more. And so many of you are here tonight. So in 2024 and 2025, I grew my involvement with LMC Media. I had the opportunity to engage LMC Media and bring you in to work on projects like the Manor Beach Party, our Chatsworth Block Parties, the Extraordinary Fall Festival, which my wife produces a world-class pie competition at, as well as working on documenting local businesses like Post Wine and Spirits, working with documentarians like Logan Sass and Irene and others here. LMC is just truly a goldmine of a resource, and if you have any interest in doing your own program, your own podcast, your own show like Elka, talk to these people. It's amazing, and you can do it right here. And finally, now to accept this honor in 2025 and to help LMC ensure a strong, independent, and vibrant future really fills me with pride. So I promise not to talk long. I'm as eager as all of you to go hang out at the after party. So I'm going to end with a very simple call to action, invite you all to get involved, to support LMC Media if you feel the way I do, and to get involved and to take advantage of all that they have to offer. I look forward to speaking with each and every one of you at the after party. I'm so grateful that you could all be here, and thank you so much for this honor. I get to take this? I'll pick it up later.
We love you, JB. Congratulations. No one deserves this recognition for their dedication to media and community more than you. It's truly been an honor to be part of this evening for you and for everything LMC Media does for our community. If you haven't already given, please do, and give generously. Just take out your phone and scan this QR code. Thank you all for joining us tonight at Mamaroneck Cinemas, but don't think the fun ends here. The celebration continues at Nona Corolla for an after-party reception, When you exit the theater, just head to the left on the avenue, and let's keep raising a glass to J.B. Miller and the amazing work of LMC Media. Thank you again, and we'll see you there, because this night deserves an encore. Woo! Let's go.